It's the Behind the Shade show.
Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to talk about Melyssa Ford and this.
Why do you think that this is such a miracle thing to be a person, to find yourself, to love yourself, and to find somebody else who loves themselves, who you love being with, who amplifies your life? You happen to amplify theirs, and you want the same thing, live in the same town, your friends and family get along, like all of the variables that take place to make that happen. Why do we all feel like everybody should just have that?
I never did. I've always felt like people who found their person and they just work, they like as well as love. Because that, to me, like is more important than love. Because there's a thin line between love and hate, but like equals respect. You know what I mean? And I've always looked at people who have like found their person and just found their soul's counterpart, if you will. I've always found them to be so lucky because it's really like a lottery.
I agree with Melyssa Ford here. You want to like your partner every minute of every day of every year. Granted, you also want to love them because there's going to be things about them that you love, and there may be things about them that you don't necessarily love, but because you like them, you're going to make it through. Where I disagree with Melyssa Ford here is that you have to be lucky. Successful relationships is nothing about luck. It's hard work, dedication, and focus. This is one of the major problems facing a lot of men and women today. They look at people who are successful because they're seeing the end result and they think that it's luck. The reason why they think that it's luck is because it gives them a way out. What do I mean? It shows them that, well, I'm working hard and this other person's working hard, but they got it because they're lucky and I'm unlucky. No. The person who has it worked harder than the person who doesn't have it. That's just the way it works. Because this is not like athletics where there's a genetic component to it. When it comes to making sure your relationship works and stands the test of time, there's a structure that has to be established, agreed upon, and communicated, and then both people work towards that. That's how it works. I'm simplifying it, but I'm breaking it down in simplest terms. When you say that it's lucky or it's a lottery or anything of that nature, you're minimizing the dedication and hard work that couples day in, day out put into their relationship. For example, when you enter a relationship and you communicate what you want and how you want the relationship to go, there's a hierarchy. At the very top, it's the relationship, then it's the two people involved, and then it's everybody else or everything else. That includes job, family, friends. Those are the big three. But let's listen further to what Melyssa Ford has to say.
And I just don't see anybody out there that I really would love to sleep with. I'm super I'm an incel right now, involuntary celibate, because there's nobody out there that I would really like to sleep with, and plus I'm so busy. For me, man, what are you gonna do? It might not happen for me in this lifetime. And whenever I say things like that, because I've said this for a really long time, people try to come to my rescue. Like, oh, don't think like that. Oh, you're putting negativity in the universe. I'm like, oh, shut the fuck up. I'm sorry. Like, am I really? Is it just my Canadian pragmatism and also like my assessment of chances and statistics? You know what I mean? There's nothing but opportunities to like lay down with somebody, but relationship wise, even less.
She mentions there isn't anyone that I want to sleep with. What does that have to do with healthy relationships? Again, here's the point, and here's the concern. Melyssa is confusing dating to date and dating for success. These are two different perceptions. When she mentions there isn't anyone I want to sleep with, and plus I'm too busy, men who want healthy, successful relationships are going to overlook her because men and women will not men and women will not commit to a partner that's committed to something else. So, for example, when you're in a relationship and you want to spend time with that person and your love language is quality time, for example, you're not going to want to be with someone who's spending all their time at work or all their time with their friends or all their time outside of the household. You want your partner to spend time with you, not from a place of control, but from a place of care and compassion. That is why highly successful women who are working 40, 50, 60 hours, that's why they say the things that she says, because they think they can have it all. That is why men who are highly successful and overachieving, working crazy hours as well, that's why their relationships fall apart. That's the difference between men and women. Women struggle to obtain it. Men struggle to maintain it. That is something that is a struggle for anyone that is overly ambitious. Ambition of itself, nothing wrong with that. But when it's your end goal, when it consumes your life, when you're the person that spends more time at the office than you do in your household, it's a problem. Because here's the thing, one of the easiest ways for us to escape our trauma, escape the work that we need to do, escape the skeletons in our closet that are bursting through the doors because it's so overloaded, is work. Because work will give you an immediate sense of validation and reward. The reward system at work is, you know, you're getting paid every day, deposited into your bank account every week, every 2 weeks, and you get attention and validation from the people you work around with. You're usually hearing at least something positive. When you go out in the world searching for love, it's a different perception. Now you got to work towards what that person wants from you, similar to your job. The difference? You may not reap the benefits until a month later, 3 months later, or a year later. Some people don't have the patience. So they say that they're too busy for it, knowing truthfully what they really mean by that is that they don't have the time to fix themselves. Because if they had the time and if they were able to balance their life and the behaviors needed to be successful in a romantic relationship, they would do it. But they've gone too far to the other side. And because they've been so far on the let me stay in work and keep busy side, they forgot how to go back to the other side. And now work is their identity. And because they've been in that identity for so long, they forgot what it looks like to be different. Let's listen further to what Melyssa has to say.
There's just a real divide happening out there in, when it comes to like people who are still in the dating game. I exited stage left. Like I said, I don't even bother. My career is thriving right now. My friendship groups are incredible and so fulfilling. I travel a lot. I solo travel. I love it. And I'm really having a great moment in my life that is lasting years, so that the thought of like letting somebody in to potentially disrupt that, I don't have the time, patience, or desire for it. I'm seeing like a lot of women opting out too. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of women are just opting out because we're exhausted, and it's not just, race, ethnicity, or even age. I'm seeing like 30-something-year-olds saying like, yeah, nope.
I love being right. See, she doesn't have the patience. She doesn't want anyone to disrupt her life. The same life that is insulating her from making proper, healthy connections. You see, from a business aspect, she has the connections, but that is not what life in its entirety is about. It's about the connections that not only are in your personal life, but your professional as well. And she's imbalanced. When you can't make life work in one arena and you're able to make it work in another arena, you got to focus your time on the arena that is working for you. In some cases, to the detriment of the other arena. So for her, she's probably had sex. She's probably had boyfriends. She wanted something different for a period of time. It wasn't working out, so she focused on her work, focused on her career, and she became busy. Now, if she were to go back and want to be with someone, they would have to fit her life instead of her life fitting them. Nobody wants to be second place. Job, career doesn't matter in the long run. Here's why. You can't take it with you. And one of the most toxic relationships you'll ever have in your life is with your job. Reason being, they will demand more hours from you for the same pay. They will take you away from events, holidays, and celebrations. And 3, if you're overly committed to your job, you miss out on all the other things that life is truly about. Emotional connection. That is why we struggle to find love as we get older. Because as we get older, we're either in our career. And if we're in our career, we're dedicated a number of hours. And if we're ambitious enough, we want to continue to move upward. The reason being is we have substituted our romantic life for our professional life because it gives us attention and validation. When we should be seeking it from our partner, when we should be seeking it from our families. It's very tough to be in that situation because when you're that way for so long, how do you then come out of it? The question is going to be, what is it that you want to start doing? But more importantly, what is it that you want to stop doing? Once you can figure out those two things, then you can find love. But love is never a disruption to healthy things, only to things that aren't serving you in the way that you think it's serving you. Because remember, love heals, but love also exposes things that should be changed.